Hey, what is up, guys? Josh back here again with you today for another one, and this one that I have here today is specially selected because it is pretty damn cold tonight. It's been pretty cold for the last couple of days. It's been rainy. It's supposed to snow later tonight and into the morning. I do not keep the heat on or anything like that to conserve on power because our power company here is basically charges you an arm and a leg if you want to heat or cool your home. So hence I'm bundled up, and what I wanted to go ahead and do tonight is a whiskey review. So seems very appropriate instead of drinking cold beer. This one I have here tonight is Distiller Select Woodford Reserve Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey from the I think it's the what is it, Brown something Brown Distiller or Corporation. Basically the same corporation that owns Jack Daniels and Canadian Mist, among other whiskey and tequila and vodka and wine, Corbel, champagne, stuff like that. Same corporation that does all that. This is their special reserve whiskey. Woodford Reserve being, from what I've heard, a really good, very good bourbon, and I just got a pint from the store that I work at, so wanted to go ahead and do a review on it because I likely won't be buying it anytime soon after that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it and pull the cork out here, pour it into this just little bourbon glass that I have, and see what we get with it. It is, I believe it has it here right on the label, 45.2% alcohol, 90.4 proof, 375 milliliter, label batch 0482, bottle number 1168, selected by Master Distiller Chris Morris. So let's go ahead and get right into it. In terms of, I've obviously had Jack Daniels. Trying to recall, I've had the Gentleman Jack, which I liked. I don't know if I've done a review on that here. I don't believe I have. I had a pint of it, left it with my brother who liked it. I brought it with me over Thanksgiving. He liked it quite a bit, so I left it with him as well. I have done that one. That I've had the Jack. I've had Corbel champagne, that kind of stuff from this corporation. But Woodford Reserve is a new one for me. So let's go ahead and look at it with the color, which pours a fairly darker, was kind of just straight copper rather than gold, kind of copper gold color or anything like that. As you can see, it's a bit of a darker bourbon, and it leaves a nice bit of legs on it. So let's go ahead and I think I see a few small particulates kind of floating around there in the glass as well. So let's go ahead and go for the aroma on this one. Nose, I guess I should say, maybe, I don't know. So this whiskey in particular, from what I'm getting, much less oaky, much less woody, much less earthy, much less notey. I'm going to adjust the camera here a little bit so you can kind of see the glass there. Much less woody, much less oaky, much less, like I said, nutty. Much more fruity with this one. It's a bit more. I'm kind of getting like. It's a bit more. I'm getting more like kind of apples, pears, kind of those sort of kind of I guess like orchard type fruits. The pears, the apples, stuff like that. But there's a good bourbon spiciness to it. Cinnamon, of course you have vanilla, but it's just not, you don't have that sort of smoky kind of charred oak barrel kind of smell coming from this one. It's a very mellow, fruity kind of smell to it. I'm trying to think of any other sort of fruits I can think of that's sort of like along with pears and apples, but really I think that's a good description of the aromas and the fruit kind of aromas. Maybe a little bit of white grape actually too. Yeah, a little bit. But it's just it's a very sort of mellow smelling, fruity smelling kind of whiskey. Similar a bit like well, I'll leave that for the review when I get around to doing that one day, perhaps. The Gentleman Jack, which I really like too. But that had a sort. I remember that had a very sort of banana sort of smell to it. I thought. So let's go ahead and go just get right into the flavor on this. Whereas the smell, the aroma, the nose is really light, mellow, fruity with the vanilla. You do get a good bit of well, not maybe not a good bit, but you get a definitive sort of flavor of the charred oak barrels. It is still very mellow though. Fruity, definitely. Almost sort of a brown sugar, almost kind of like a baked. I guess I actually would say it's sort of almost like a baked apple sort of flavor with this, with brown sugar, bit of vanilla, maybe like I want to say vanilla extract, but good vanilla extract, not like just store bought $2 vanilla extract or however much it costs these days. I think vanilla extract's actually pretty expensive now. But you do get the charred oak barrels. It's just mellow. It's very mellow. It's just uh, you know it's just not as prominent. It's not as overbearing over other flavor notes. You get much more of the vanilla and, like I said, that sort of brown sugar, baked apple, maybe like stewed pear kind of flavor to this. It's a much fruitier type of whiskey. I'm not going to really add any water to this. It is only, well, I say only. Well, it is 90 proof, which is further up there, but it's not like 100 proof. It's not like a 120 proof. I actually have a bottle I was so generously given by my dad, actually, who is a big bourbon drinker. He's really into a lot of different bourbons. And he gave me a bottle of the Knob Creek single barrel 120 proof reserve, which I have not gotten into yet. So I will definitely do a review on that. But those 100 proof, 120 proof, those ones I'll definitely cut with water, do all that kind of thing. Maybe I add an ice cube in or something like that. Because typically, if it's not something that's just like a Jim Beam or a Evan Williams, something like that, where I'll mix it with Coke, all that kind of stuff. I'll just put an ice cube in it typically, or if it's really good, like 120 proof Knob Creek, I'll just add a bit of water to it or something like that. But the ones that are like 90 proof, 80 proof, that kind of thing, I'll just kind of do straight to go ahead and get the full-on flavor with it, because water usually doesn't do these types of strength whiskeys too many favors, I don't believe. But with this one, it is a nice mellow. The finish has a sort of nice mellow finish to it as well. Not too warm, not too hot, not too peppery. It actually does not have that, which a lot of bourbons, American or bourbons do have, is a very sort of spicy kind of peppery note to it. This almost seems like it has like where some bourbons, like Old Grandad, for example, has a high rye mash bill. This one almost seems like it has almost zero rye, like it's almost just all corn. This one is just a very mellow, pleasant, fruity sipper of a bourbon, I believe. You can add it to a cocktail. I think that would make a really good cocktail. I would not add this to Coke, Coca-Cola, or soda, or anything like that. I think it's just doing it a disservice if you're going to go ahead and do that. That's not to say it's a bad thing to do. You can do it if you want. It would just be a really good whiskey and Coke, I believe. But I would definitely recommend this one straight over ice. Again, it would make a really nice cocktail if you have other good, mixer ingredients, whether it be, aromatics like bitters or anything like that. It would make a really nice old fashioned, I believe, for the holidays. So with the Woodford Reserve, I do like the bourbons, my bourbons to be a bit more again, like I said, peppery, spicy, have a bit more heat to them. I do actually like those sort of rougher bourbons like that. But Woodford Reserve is a nice change of pace, a nice sipper, a smooth sipper, I believe. So I would definitely recommend trying it if you come across it. Again, for the bottle, all the bottles kind of, no matter what size, they all have the same shape, same circumference and all that kind of stuff. Very thin, nice, just simplistic, almost sort of apothecary looking bottle from Woodford Reserve. So I definitely recommend checking it out. If you see it, I'd actually like to go ahead and try their Woodford Rye, which I believe would give that nice sort of peppery kind of hit that I really like in a lot of the Kentucky whiskeys and stuff like that. So definitely recommend checking it out if you see it. And until next time, guys, thank you for watching.